I recently watched a new video from Mother's Basement, and of course, it disappointed me. I'm not saying that Deep Insanity, The Lost Child, is a masterpiece, but when I watch seasonal anime, even if it's 20 series like it is with this current fall season with me, I plan to finish them and develop a soft spot for them no matter how bad they are, and feel that I need to say something when they get unfairly criticized. This is especially when it's someone with millions of subscribers who is going to spread nonsense to a huge audience. If you're going to analyze or review something, it's a good idea to finish where the series is currently at. He admitted he hasn't really watched it, thus, trying to bash it in as short of a time as he did was pointless and ignorant. Despite saying it's not, I've kept up with Deep Insanity, such as with today's episode, and the plot is interesting. Vera has taken Leslie's role now as the main focus of the series, and it's revealed she has the ability to go back in time. It's literally Karen from Scarlet Nexus all over again. She has tried to kill the lost child for a while now, and has resorted to using this powerful ability because Shigori apparently keeps getting killed in the end. Vera has been forced to keep herself isolated and shut off. She doesn't want to show feelings or get attached to anyone because she knows she will see them die over and over again, and doesn't want to gain a bias and try to change the timelines more than she wants to. Though her character seems bland and boring at first, at least it gave some kind of explanation as to why she was that way. Still, this didn't stop Leslie from trying to get close to her, which struck a nerve that Shigori picked up on later after he asked her about Leslie's death. Thus, Leslie changed the timeline more than Vera wanted by using Shigori. Not only that, it's implied that Leslie eventually finding out about Vera's time loops was because Vera slipped up and used bad wording towards Leslie, which made it clear to Leslie that there is some time traveling involved here. Leslie tells Vera that they will stay with her and die as many times as needed for her. Because Vera made this mistake and doesn't seem to realize Leslie's realization, Leslie left behind a journal for Shigori which talked about how Vera is hiding something, that being the time loops, without telling Shigori it's time loops. Since Leslie figured it out and made the journal for Shigori in the recent timeline, Shigori changes from the past ones in that he now tries to think and do what Leslie would. Imagine being a main character that is so bad he has to copy the best character to make up for his own bad writing. He does this so Shigori does this with Vera, and even repeats some of the same lines Leslie did, coincidentally, which begins to crack Vera and make her move towards finally opening up, as she did feel emotions towards Leslie's death, after all, when Shigori asked. This series has a bizarre relation to Rumble Garandol compared to other fall anime in that it throws otaku humor and passion into it as well. There's a really funny part in the latest episode where Vera accidentally agrees to join a barbecue with her men. In the beginning, as she sits with her corrupt superiors, she thinks about what they are about to say before they do, since she already knows from constantly going back in time. Because Leslie picks up on Vera's time traveling after she tells them to not die and succeed this time, quote unquote. Leslie managed to change Shigori enough after, as a result, that when Shigori went to Vera and Vera knew this was the part where Shigori would leave the mission, Shigori instead asked her to come to a barbecue. Vera was so sure she'd quit, she said yes without realizing that he asked this. But then it was too late. One more time. Shigori would come back, and Reika would joke that Vera would just be very moe instead of finding a way out. Because of this, they tamper with the computers, and Vera fails again and again, trying to find a way out of the barbecue, which was funny to see. Slowly, she is showing more emotions, like being smug, and showing expressions of surprisement. As the Shigori continues to try to do what Leslie would in front of Vera, she starts to see Leslie in him. And though the barbecue happens, and Vera just looks on from above without attending, she realizes that the team is getting along on a much more personal level, something that wasn't being done before. Thus, she decides to join in and smiles, akin to a moment like Rey smiling in Evangelion. I really did not think they could pull this off with a character like Vera, but this development worked out great. I also noticed that her and the Lost Child have the same hair and eye color. As a result, For whatever reason, she might be trying to erase her own existence. No one is really watching this, but I would say that despite the major amount of flaws, the writing is interesting. Thank you for listening.